today I want to show you how to remove and replace your coil packs and your spark plugs on any Audi 3.0 liter V6 engines. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it on a 2002 Audi A4 with the 3.0 V6 30 valve engine. So go and start by popping your hood. It's pretty straightforward actually, this process. I've already dug in a little bit just so I could figure out how I'm going to do this on the video for you guys. But the first thing you want to do, I'm going to start on the right side where the coolant reservoir is. So you're going to want to pop this piece of trim off if your vehicle has it. I know a lot of them don't. And then there's going to be a 10mm bolt right here. And you're going to want to go ahead and undo that. And you're going to need to use also a 10mm wrench on the bottom because there's a nut on the bottom of that. So once you get that off, you can kind of wiggle from behind here and it'll come out of a little holding bracket that it's in. And then you can kind of just prop it up there. Let me show you what I do with mine. So this is kind of rickety, but it gets the job done. I have a piece of rope tied to my rear view mirror. And what I'm going to do is I just take the rope and then I get this to where I want it to be, just as out of the way as possible, and then I just end up twisting and tying it around this coolant reservoir to hold it out of the way. Once you're in here, I was having a hard time trying to find videos on how you actually do this. Some people are saying that you're going to want to, let me show you. There are two T20 Torx screws. One here and one here that's holding this coil rail on. Go ahead and remove those puppies, and then this will just fall away. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and start working on getting the actual coils out. So I already did this one just for an example. You wiggle it a little bit and you get it to the point of where you can pop it out just like that. And then your spark plug's going to be in there down below. I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one here. I have not touched this one yet. So I'm just using a pocket screwdriver to give it a little bit of leverage, and it'll pop right out of there for you. And then, if you're not doing spark plugs, then you can go ahead and just put your new coils in, and that'll be it. But I recommend if you're doing spark plugs, or if you're doing your coils, to go ahead and do your spark plugs while you're in here, because they're right there. So there we have all three coils out on the left or on the right side. And now the way I got the plugs out is I used a 5/8 deep socket onto a 6-inch extension and onto an even larger extension. And I come through from back here, and then I just slide that down into the cylinder. And then I start cranking here. It's completely loose. Go and remove it. Don't let that happen. I have lost too many things down here. I just took a little magnet, put it down the cylinder, and then you can pull the old plug out, and you can see mine look pretty nasty here. Real oily too. So gonna go ahead and do it on this last one, and I'll show you how to do it on the other side. Alright, so the right side's all done. Over on the left side, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to remove your air cleaner in order to get all the way down there. So I'm gonna start doing that by removing this T15 bolt right here and this just Phillips screw right here. So I'm gonna go and do that. Alright, and then in order to get those hoses out of the way, I just clamped them to a bigger hose over there. So and then you might need to break these clips loose. So yeah, the clips kind of suck. So I was wrong, I can't get the coil rail off without removing the airbox. So what you need to do for that, you need to pull the top part off and then unscrew here, and then disconnect your throttle body hose there, and should be able to slide it off then. Okay guys, so we're just pulling the last bits of the air filter off so then we can move that stupid coil rail.
Gotta find how this thing comes off now.
And once we do that, we'll be able to just wiggle the coils out and unscrew the spark plugs just like on the right side. And there we go, now we have full access. Alrighty, so I have my new spark plugs right here. I went with Autolite Platinum spark plugs, or the part number is right there if you want to get the same ones. They're pretty cheap, it's like 18 bucks for all of them, so yeah, I got them from Advanced Auto Parts. So one thing that you need to keep in mind is this has an aluminum head, and that can be damaged if you put these on too tight. So what you need to make sure you do is you need to make sure you don't over torque these. Torque them down to 22 foot-pounds for the 3.0. And one other trick that I want to show you is if you have a piece of like a hose from, you know, like a coolant line or something like that, just, you know, this rubber hose, take your spark plug and stick this end into the tube like that. And then what you're going to want to do, you want to come over to your engine bay, pop it down into the cylinder, and then twist until it don't twist no more. And then after that, you want to get your torque wrench out and torque them down to 22 foot-pounds because you don't want to cross thread this. Okay, so it's not turning anymore really. I'm going to go ahead and pull this baby off. I'm going to grab my torque wrench. Alright, so this is the torque wrench I'm going to be using today. It's a plain Jane one, but you can get pretty precise with it. So I'm going to go to 22, which is about here. Took the big extension off, and we're going to go ahead and give this a shot on the first cylinder on the left side. Snug it up with your ratchet first. Do it the rest of the way. You can see the meter going up to about 22.
Nice, long, even strokes.
Long and even strokes. And then that one's done. Alright, so I'm going to do this and the rest of them on this side, and then do that all on this side, and then we just need to put everything back together and we'll see if this works or not. Okay, so quick update. I got them torqued down to about 20 to 22 or so foot-pounds. I put the coils back on, and now we're going to go ahead and pop the rail back on onto the plugs, which might be easier said than done. We'll see. And then once we do that, I'll put the air box back together and move over to the other side. Alrighty, we're getting closer. Got these all finished here, so we can go ahead and untie our coolant reservoir and hook that thing back to the way it was, and then you will be done. And the next step is to fire her up and take her on a drive and make sure everything's working as it should. It's not missing or anything like that. So I'll report back to you guys how that goes once I get this totally all put back together here. But yeah, it's not too hard to do spark plugs on this thing. It's definitely harder than it was in some other cars that I've owned, but nevertheless, we did it. So let's move on now. Quick side note, go ahead and hang on to your old spark plugs, because if you ever get in a pinch and you really need one, they're still good and they still work. So don't just throw them away. And let's go for a drive, start her up, and let it run. So I'm going to start it up right now, see how she sounds. Alright, so we're in the interior here. Quiet as a mouse. Revs and idles smooth. There we go.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched. If you did, please consider supporting the channel. Click to my right to subscribe, and to your left you'll discover more videos posted by Telebyte. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.